What's going on, family? My name is Joseph Octaviani, and thank you for tuning in to yet another video here on Life the Plant Way TV. Today we are going to be talking about how to become an herbalist. Becoming an herbalist has been a very hot topic for the past couple of years. The health and wellness field has really been taken off. The interest in it has been skyrocketing for the past several years, especially since, the one thing with the V, COV, I'm not gonna name it, but you know what I'm talking about, has made people aware of how important their health is. And it's also made people aware of how sick we are as a society, okay? How sick we are as a society, all right? And so it's made a lot of people, it's forced a lot of people to look at their health differently, to look at different choices of medicine, okay? So that's why traditional medicine is really on the rise, because we have finally understood as a collective that the traditional medicine that we have been getting fed is just not for us. It's not the most potent. It's not the most in alignment with us and nature in general. So plant medicine has become a huge topic of conversation. And if you've been someone who has been itching to become an herbalist, itching to really start working with plant medicine, then I'm gonna give you just a couple of tips in order for you to get started, okay? The very first tip that I have for you is self-experience is your best teacher. You can go after all the books you want, you can go after all the YouTube videos and the TikTok videos you want, but none of that means anything unless you get actual self-experience. You never want to just regurgitate some type of information that you read or saw online, okay, and spit that to someone. I want you to have a full understanding and overstanding of what you are talking about, okay? And to have that, it's not necessarily just reading a bunch, it is doing a bunch, okay? I want you to be able to walk the walk, be in the field, all right? I want you to be able to memorize these herbs based off what they made you feel like, not just based off of what your ancestors made them use them for, or what the scientific studies are saying, okay? Because that was the biggest difference between me and a lot of people's journey, is that me, I don't waste time on just getting things done and actually doing things and figuring out for myself. Now, yes, there's a lot of mistakes on that path. There's a lot of mistakes to not reading into certain things more. There's mistakes when you don't prepare it properly. There's mistakes to where you take too much or too little and you don't get the right benefits. So yes, there's more mistakes, but those mistakes are just lessons in disguise, okay, until you can recognize them as the lessons that they are, okay? So making those mistakes, being like a child, having that curiosity to just go in and start doing is very important when it comes to becoming an herbalist, okay? In my personal opinion, that is the best herbalist that you can learn from. My master teachers when it came to herbs they're not people who got their degrees in it, they're not people who got courses and all that type of stuff. They're people who grew up on it for their entire lives. Their tribe, their ancestors, their people have been using it for generations and generations, and they have that applied knowledge and they have that passed down knowledge, and that's who I learned from. I didn't go to, now granted, yes, I did read some books, I did seek out courses and things like that and certificates, but none of them really resonated with me, okay? Because it was very much so with the same mind that controls the school systems that we have. Okay, there's a winner, there's a loser, there's a failure, there's things like that. For me, I just wanted to get small bits of information about it to where I'm comfortable enough to know what I'm using it for, and then just to go in. So one thing that I did to start off everything was I went to Google. I simply went to Google and I did a self-assessment. What are some organs in my body that need support? What are some systems in my body that need support? And then I went to Google and I said, okay, Google, what did the ancestors of the Americas, or the ancestors of parts of Africa, or parts of South America, wherever you are locally, what did those ancestors use for arthritis? It's what I had. Flank pain, kidney pain, UTIs, things like that I was suffering from, inflamed prostates, erectile dysfunction, all the things that I was going through. And I typed it in, what did they use it for? What herbs did they use for this condition? And always it'll pop up, but the studies, blogs, vlogs, articles, all types of stuff will come up where you'll see the indigenous used it for X, Y, and Z. The indigenous used this plant for X, Y, and Z. And then on the same page, you'll never fail to find this, on the same page, those same, modern medical thinkers will go in and say, well, it hasn't been proven by modern science. It hasn't been proven by our mind, our viewpoint, our perspective. It hasn't been proven by us. It doesn't align with us. So we wouldn't recommend you take it. In the same sentence, in the same page that they'll say, yeah, the indigenous used it for this, and that, they'll say, well, we haven't used it for it, so you shouldn't either. Okay, and I want you to sidestep that BS, okay, and then use your intuition. What is your gut telling you? For me, I didn't need much convincing, okay, to believe that my ancestors used this and that it actually worked. Okay, because one of the things as an herbalist, one thing that you'll realize is you'll become nervous on, if it's actually working. You'll be using it for a couple days, or you'll recommend it to somebody, and you're just like kind of itching, like, I hope it's actually working, and it's not that the plan is going to work for you or not. It's not that the plan it likes you or it doesn't like you. Okay, it's if you trust the plant, then it'll trust you. Okay, if you trust the plant, you'll build a relationship. You have to build a trust in plants. That was my problem in the very beginning. I didn't build that trust in plants, so I was always itching and, man, I hope that the plant I recommended to, so-and-so, I hope it works for them. And I'm asking them, oh, how do you feel? How do you feel? And then once they tell me, wow, it worked great for me, I get that sigh of relief, like, oh, okay, it does work. I lack that trust in the plants. Okay, so one thing I can recommend to you is that trust the plant, that it's going to do what it's always done. Okay, it's not going to change up just because you recommended it or just because you are going to use it. All right, trust that the plant is going to provide a certain action for you. All right, now the second thing I would recommend is make sure you are not using them in replacement for medication. And not to say never to leave your medication or anything like that, but I want you guys to separate the two. All right, herbs are not like medication. Herbs are not used for the replacement of medication. Okay, herbs don't care about diseases. All right, medications are for diseases. Diseases aren't real, as you guys have seen my videos. Diseases aren't real. They're just simply a set of symptoms, and they place a name on it. That is the disease that you have. Herbs don't care about that. Nature doesn't care about that. Nature, the herbs have certain goals already that they're trying to do, and those goals are actions in the body. Okay, herbs provide actions in the body. Herb doesn't fight that disease over there, that disease over there. Okay, herbs provide you with a certain action, whether that be to soothe, whether that be to power up, to calm down, okay, to cool, to warm. They provide certain actions. Okay, when you understand that and overstand that, then you can make that differentiation of herbs and meds. Okay, the herbs are not there to become your healer. The herbs are there to bring your body back in balance so that the body can become the healer that it already is. Okay, so herbs without a lifestyle change is not as effective. Okay, your lifestyle could counteract that herb. Just how certain foods can counteract medications, certain herbs can counteract medications, lifestyles can counteract medications. You can be powering something up, but then on your lifestyle, you're depleting it. That's going to negate the two. That's going to negate the herb and its effect. Okay? So there's a huge difference between herbs and meds. Another thing is herbs are very nutritive. So most of the herbs that you are using in the form of your teas, you're going to be consuming nutrients, not just having an herbal action, not just it making you poop or making you sweat or whatever's the case. It's actually feeding you nutrients. Okay, that is one of the biggest differences between herbs and meds. Meds, as we know, are just powders of something. Okay, what they really put in there, I don't know. All right, powders of something formed into a capsule to give you a specific action. Most of them are suppressants, so most of them just suppress your body's natural functions. Herbs, on the other hand, most of them are empowerers. Okay, they empower you. They power you up. They power up certain functions and organs of the body. Okay, but they also give you loads of nutrients as well. Okay, and for my third tip, I would say that the best herbs that you can use are the ones in your area. Okay, a lot of people love ordering things online. I get it. I understand. It's very convenient. Certain things that aren't available to you are available online. But one thing I really recommend is to get familiar and get comfortable with the herbs that are already growing around you, because there are plenty. And this is where the research comes in, to where what you ask, what did my ancestors, or what did the ancestors of this land, it doesn't have to be your direct ancestors, what did the direct ancestors of this land use this herb that I just found? What did they use that for? You see that weed coming up, or the weed coming up in your garden, you ask Google, what is this plant? Google, what did the ancestors use it for? What did the indigenous peoples use this for? Okay, what are the traditional medicine benefits of this herb? Okay, and get familiar with the herbs on your land. Those are going to be the greatest for you. I truly believe that herbs come seeking you. Okay, herbs come to you because they know you better than you know you. Okay, they know you better than you know you. And so the herbs will come to whoever needs their assistance. Perfect example is when my stepfather, he had prostatitis. And one of the herbs that I used frequently, nettle leaf, he moved into this area on a mountain. And when I would visit, I would go around and look at the herbs because everything would just grow, a bunch of green over there. And I would look around and I would say, hey, you know, one of the most abundant herbs that we have here is called nettle leaf, and that is one of the greatest herbs for prostatitis. It's one of the greatest herbs for inflammation on the prostate. It's a very cooling herb, it's a very anti-inflammatory herb, and it has an affinity for the prostate. Okay, that means it has kind of like a liking to it. And so I said, hey, I'm gonna go pick some, give it a try. And after the very first cup of that fresh tea that he made, he felt some type of tingling, some type of stinging sensation. And it's called stinging nettle, to be exact. And so when it has that stinging needle type effect, it means that it's working on something. Okay, it means it's shrinking something. And after about a week or two of taking that daily, the prostate inflammation was gone. Okay, and it was growing all around him. All right, so if you look around you, if you're nervous and you're anxious and you're depressed and you're suffering from emotional ailments, you'll probably have a lot of herbs around you that'll deal with emotional nervous system ailments. Okay, if you're dealing with a lot of inflammation, you're most likely going to find a lot of anti-inflammatory herbs around you. If you're dealing with digestive issues, you're probably going to find, digestive herbs. You're probably going to find bitter herbs that you can utilize for your digestive system. Okay, because the earth knows you. The herbs know you. And so that third tip is go around and actually pick at the herbs around you. Nibble on some things, Google some things, take pictures of them, find out what they are. Okay, because remember, weeds are simply labeled weeds because they are plants that can heal you, plants that can bring you nutrients, but that the man, cannot profit off of. That is what weeds actually are. Herbs, medicinal plants, nutritive plants that cannot be profited from because they grow in abundance, and they grow whether we like them or not, and they grow whether we fight them off with these pesticides and these sprays. Okay, and they still grow and they'll still come back And it's like the mother. Even though you're trying to shove her away, even though you're angry in the corner, you're screaming, she's still gonna come and comfort you. Mother Earth is still gonna try to come to our saving. Mother Earth will always try to bring things in balance, whether you like it or not, or whether you're ready for it or not. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Those are my 3 tips to becoming an herbalist and actually start doing it. Okay? Don't just spend all your time reading and reading and reading. Okay? Spend your time actually doing and experiencing it. Okay? The self-experience is the greatest teacher, especially when it comes to herbalism. Okay? Because all the herbs, even though they have the same actions, they'll show up differently in different bodies. Okay? Because herbs are extremely conscious. Okay? Herbs are conscious. And this is actually, hold on, this is my 4th tip. I want you to recognize that herbs are conscious beings just like you. This is how I started discovering herbs and how I started learning about herbs. Herbs are conscious beings just like you. Herbs will go into your body, know and be in communication with your body, and know exactly what your body wants it to do. Okay? No herb is only for one single action. No herb is just for one thing in the body. All herbs have a variety of benefits, a variety of actions inside the body. And based off of what your body wants, based off what your body communicates with the herb is based off of, or will depend on what the herb will give you. Okay? So there's a constant communication going on between these conscious beings of the herbs and these conscious beings of the cells that make us up and the bacteria and things that make us up. Okay? There's a communication between them. So understanding and overstanding that they are conscious beings just like me and you means that you'll give them more respect. Okay? Especially when you're picking them or when you're consuming them. You'll start to thank them. You'll start to speak life into them. You'll start to speak life and love into them. Okay? It's one of the best practices that you can do. Is to view your fellow herb as a plant ally of yours. It's not your servant. It's not here just for you. It's not, oh, what can you do for me? It's like, how can we work together? All right, that is my 4th tip. Make sure you are understanding and overstanding that they are sentient beings. Okay, don't just go picking away at them, whacking away at them. All right, you ask permission and you give thanks. Okay, and that'll bring out more of the spiritual and emotional healing from that herb. Okay, because practicing gratitude is one of the most healthiest things that you can possibly do for your physical, emotional, mental body. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Share this with someone who wants to become an herbalist. I'll be making more in-depth videos about this as time goes on. Go ahead and make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that little bell notification too to get those notifications when we drop a new video, when we go on live as well. I appreciate you guys, and I want to challenge you guys to just pick one herb. Pick one herb for the next month that you can experience on a daily basis. Okay? Build a relationship with that herb. And what I mean is, I want you to know that herb just by the look of it, by the smell of it, by the taste of it. I want you to know that herb like the back of your hand. Okay? I challenge you guys, pick one herb, I don't care what herb it is, and use it every single day of the month. All right? For the next month. And I want you to comment down below in the comment section what herb, okay, that you wanna start that journey with. Or if you need a recommendation for a single herb, go ahead and comment that below and I'll check them out. All right? I appreciate you, family. Stay blessed, stay healthy.